Hey, Owen. 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 Guys, can you stop your game for a minute and just kind of come around this way? I got a couple of comments, a little speech for Owen, all right? Come on over. Come on up here, Owen. What? Hey, Dan.
You're going to have to get me back up.
I'm available. Yeah, that's kind of hard.
I got a piggyback. Wait, here's what I do. Okay, just step around. That's cool. Very good.
Nate.
Save him that way.
Right this second? Because he's going to be so no.
It's a little long. Not that long. Are you okay? Yeah, she's fine.
On this side, so you can see me. All right, if I could have your attention for a minute. I want to thank everybody for coming out to Owen's graduation.
Hey, don't forget me.
Are you interrupting me?
Yeah, I don't want you to forget me.
What do you do in school? Are you allowed to interrupt the teacher?
I'm in second grade.
All right, now. So you're seeing the end of 12 years of schooling, but really it's just the beginning of Owen's quest to pursue future goals working in the field of science. When you have kids, you figure you go out, hit some pop-ups, and attend back to school night, and then you're a good parent. Well, Owen has shown Laura and I that there's a little more to it than that. And there's been many times where he's made us very proud, and sometimes where we ask, where do we go wrong as parents? So I've enjoyed the roller coaster ride a little more, I think, than Laura has. I think this party is a sigh and a send-off for her, but really we received so many compliments about Owen that it's enough to make us burst. So I think Laura has shown over the years what true parenting is. Mainly I'm there to accept compliments when he scores a goal or a basket, and in essence Laura's done all the dirty work and really deserves a lot of the credit for Owen's successes. So now a little bit about Owen growing up. He came into the world 2 weeks early. He was born at 1:41 a.m. The doctors told us he's coming, but he's not ready yet. Go out and let gravity do its work. So Laura and I walked the hallways of the hospital until he came. And actually it was the night that Barry Bonds hit his 600th homer. So I got to watch SportsCenter for a little while before he came into the world at 1:41. He's named in part for Michael Owens, so you soccer guys should know that name. He was a famous forward on the English national team, and so the initials "00" were born. His middle name of Edward was a tribute to his grandfather and his great-grandfather. Owen's grandfather is called Bruce, but his first name is actually Edward. And Owen's great-grandfather was named Bruce Edward. So we kept the tradition of having Edward, do I have that right? Edward going through each generation. Now, Owen was always pleasant as a baby, but those of you that were around a lot know that he drooled in buckets. I don't mean to embarrass you, but it was really, we had to constantly have a towel around his face and everything like that. So far, he's doing good tonight. So from the very start, Owen was around sports. We had him at so many events that it would be hard to name them all. But I did keep a paper of some things that we went to when he was younger and like that. And the Milanese will like the fact that he was there when Kyle beat Lattimore from RV. And actually it was the first point that was scored all year against Kyle. But I think both wrestlers were undefeated and he got to see that. He was at both of our wins with Rutgers Camden against Elizabethtown, which was a pretty big deal. He traveled up to a tournament in Long Island and saw us beat St. Joe when I was coaching college at Rutgers. we went to, he won't remember this, but we went and saw the Kicks play with Donnie D, and they beat Harrisburg 10-9, and Owen got to go in the locker room after the game. I don't know if you remember that. You were pretty small. When Smarty Jones won the Kentucky Derby, he was at Philly Park for the workout the next weekend. But he wasn't always the smartest at games. When he got old enough to talk, he told me when we were about to play Stockton, Dad, Stockton's going to beat you tonight. And of course we won 4-3 in overtime, so he was wrong there. Eventually he was old enough to start attending Phillies games and Big Five games at the Pleasure. He was definitely the best fan at Citizens Bank Park. This guy didn't move. He was a soldier. He watched the game, and that was it. Because I guess, there were expectations, whatever. That's what his mom and I did, and he sat and watched the Phillies. But we did allow him one treat per game. So about the fourth inning, I would hand him a $5 bill, and he would start scanning the whole Citizens Bank Park, looking for that pink treat called cotton candy. He would go, Dad, I see him. And it would be, he's little. I go ahead. I'll keep an eye on him. And there he goes, taking off with his $5 to get his cotton candy treat. Then we started taking him to the Pleasure to see Big Five games, and he was really mesmerized by the crowds and the excitement that went on at those games. So when he would come home from the games the next day, right in the foyer where you guys walked in, he would have Laura and I. She's laughing already. We had to be the crowd, and we would stand there and go, "Let's go Quakers!" And he would come. I can't say it. I'm like getting emotional now. So anyway, he would come running out, dribbling his ball, and shooting layups like he was at the Pleasure. And for some reason, I don't really know why, he started to fall in love with the California Bears. So we had to root for the California Bears for a while. I know he was never at a California Bears game because I was never at one, so. Anyway. Some of the best memories that we have of the kids were reading. Of course, Maddie read along with me and let me know when I made mistakes and everything. Owen's thing was he would pick one story every night, and he abbreviated the title and just said, Dad, the man. So all he wanted to hear was the Gingerbread Man. That was it. So we probably set a record by reading the Gingerbread Man probably like 200 nights in a row. So at the end of reading the story, we're laying there, Maddie on one side, Owen on the other side, and we would say the Lord's Prayer. And at the end of the Lord's Prayer, we would encourage the kids to say, God bless whoever they wanted God to bless, right? So his list, going back to when he was 2, Michael Owen was first. God bless Michael Owen. Jim Tomey was second. And then I don't really know if he liked the consonant C or K, but not necessarily in this order. Aunt Karen, Corey, and Kelsey all made the prayer. So it'd be God bless Michael Owen, God bless Jim Tomey, and then Corey, Karen, and Kelsey I wrote down. They were the 3 that came next. Now, don't feel bad if you weren't picked to be in the prayer, because I was never picked to be in the prayer either. So I'm laying right there with them, and I'm like, how about Mom and Dad? And he'd go, okay, and Mom and Dad, like that. So if you weren't there to advocate for yourself, you didn't get into the prayer. So he started off, he loved the Wiggles, Bob the Builder, Blue's Clues, Hot Wheels Acceleracers. Probably bringing up things that all you guys liked as well, right? He would have the Hot Wheels cars in the air and going all around. But then eventually we took him to Disney, and that was the new thing. Buzz Lightyear Spin Ride, Indy 500, and of course all the characters. He was absorbed by everything that he saw. So at a young age, I would take him around to my stores. I had a magazine distribution. And many of the same as today, many of the proprietors were Indian guys, and some of these guys were pretty old. And he would come in as I'm putting the magazines up, and he would, for 10 or 15, 20 minutes, go through with these guys all the things that he saw at Disney. And they would just be looking at this kid going, wow. You have no idea what he's talking about, and he just went on and on. So that was always kind of funny. Anyway, there's a lot of things to like about Owen, but I think the one thing that stands out for me is his willingness to try new things. As a kid, I was never inclined to do anything but kind of like what I already knew about or something maybe that I was a little better at. But this guy's got some resume. He's played baseball, basketball, soccer. He wrestled until his neck got snapped, and I said, that's the end of that sport. He was in the Philadelphia Boys Choir, Music Makers, Cinnaminson Middle School and Cinnaminson High School bands, playing the trombone. And now, he's taught himself to play the ukulele. The guys from mainland, they take him out surfing. He's willing to cook dinner at night, and he's pretty good at most of the things that he does. So that's a real feather in his cap, I think. High school sports saw him make all conference in soccer. He led the basketball team in scoring over the last 2 years, and I'm sure as he gets older, he's never going to be at a loss for a hobby. I'm going to give Laura credit for a lot of Owen's things outside of sports. She encouraged that and took him places and really, I think, fed his creative side a lot more than I did. She set us up with tickets to monster trucks. We had Ed Snyder seats, owner of the Flyers. Gravedigger won, believe it or not. I think Gravedigger was undefeated. Took him to theater class in Spanish at 4 and 5 years old. But what I think the neighborhood remembers best is each year she would make a different Halloween outfit for the kids. And probably the most memorable one was he dressed as Wally. Remember that movie, Wally? He was Wally and had like the skateboard and everything. And Laura pushed him to each house as Wally. So I was out walking in the neighborhood the other day, and Diana down the street said, wow, Owen's graduating. Remember when he was Wally at Halloween? I was like, wow, that was a while ago, yeah. So anyway, so our neighborhood liked that outfit as well. I'm winding down a little bit here, but I want to give you a few of his famous quotes that we wrote down from when he was younger. And he was a real comedian, like he thought he was funny. And anytime he would get the response he wanted, he would say, I choked you. Now regarding Christmas, he came out one day and made this emphatic statement where he said, I'm getting new presents and I'm not giving away any of my old stuff. That's what he told us, so the meaning of Christmas. One time he took a bathroom break while we were eating breakfast, and he comes out and announced, I scratched my butt and pee came out. I couldn't finish eating after that one. Yeah.
You looked in red, oh. Looking like a cherry.
But probably
It just gets worse from here on out.
the best, I don't know anatomically how that works, but you're a nurse. Is that something that happens? Scratch your butt? All right. We all, of course, were rooting for the Eagles all along, and they'd done well. And when he was young, Eagles were doing, I don't know if it was a year, I think maybe a year they played in the Super Bowl, and he had this song, Fly Eagles Fly Down. So we're in Cinderella's castle in the bathroom, and he's sitting on like this little sofa that they have, and he is belting out Fly Eagles Fly in the men's room. And people are just like, are you kidding me? This little kid. So he winds down where you think he's finished with Fly Eagles Fly, and all of a sudden he just goes, Fly Eagles Fly. He starts over again, and everyone in the bathroom cracked up. They thought it was great. So Owen's athletic commitment should not be overlooked. At 18 years old, he still has youthful enthusiasm on game day. Gets dressed well before his match, talks about the games and the practices well after they've been completed. I'm pretty sure his high school coach, at least his basketball coach, isn't aware of the extra effort that he put in. Before the season started this year for a month, he got up at 5 a.m., went to the Y, and worked out from 5:45 till 7 before school each day. He's done a lot of serious conditioning in preparation for his seasons. The other night he ran 7 miles on the boardwalk. He does interval running at the track, weightlifting, box jumping, and then of course, with me, he does a lot of technical work. But obviously he's not going to make a living playing sports. But he did challenge himself academically the last 2 years. This year he took 3 AP courses and mostly honors courses throughout his 4 years. He still managed a 94% average over the last 2 years and has SATs over 1,300. I really feel like his work rate and commitment is going to carry over to whatever he chooses as a lifelong vocation, to his relationships, and eventually carried over toward being a good husband and father. Now that Owen is graduating to a more independent environment, I hope you'll join me in encouraging him to take advantage of this great opportunity, to avoid distractions like the cell phone, and to focus on his work. Owen, this is your chance to think creatively and prepare for the world of higher learning, higher level thinking. Make good choices. You've already made us very proud. Strive to be the best you can be. All in all, we have a lot of great memories with Owen as a child. Looking ahead, we are sure he'll make us proud and give us many more stories. Good luck. We all love you. Now at 7, David's here. Is the ice cream truck there yet? Pete, can you see out there?
Yeah, out there.
Mr. Softy's supposed to come at 7. I'll let you guys know. Enjoy the rest of the night. I'll let you know when that comes out front. Thanks for coming.
Good job, Owen.
You have a rebuttal, Owen?